Gavin Adcock is never one afraid to speak his mind, and during a recent performance, he let loose on Beyonce's latest album, Cowboy Carter, telling fans in attendance how he really feels about the album. Gavin Adcock has a message for Beyonce, and he's not holding back. Over the weekend at Clearwater's Big Rodeo in Nebraska, Adcock took a moment on stage to talk about the Apple Music country charts. He's currently sitting at number 4, and he noticed who was right in front of him. He told the crowd, "There are only 3 people in front of me on the Apple Music country charts, and one of them is Beyonce. You could tell her we're coming for her f***ing ass. This shit ain't country music, and it's never ever been country music, and it will never be country music." This all goes back to Beyonce's album Cowboy Carter. When it dropped, she made it very clear, saying, "This ain't a country album. This is a Beyonce album." The CMA and ACM Awards seemed to agree, and she wasn't nominated. But then, the Grammys gave her Best Country Album, and on that night, she seemed to change her tune a bit. She said she felt honored to reintroduce some of that history that I think has been lost, and that the love from the country community made her feel so seen. Well, that win and her comments have kept the debate alive for months, especially now that she's touring and some of the music is back on the country charts. Adcock's album, Own Worst Enemy, is right behind her on the country chart, along with Morgan Wallen and Parker McCollum. Here is that moment when Gavin Adcock called out Beyonce from the stage.
There's only 3 people in front of me on the Apple Music country charts, and one of them's Beyonce. You can tell her we're coming for her ass. That shit ain't country music, and it ain't ever been country music, and it ain't gonna be country music.
Now, if you look at the numbers, the album hasn't had the staying power you might expect. On the all-genre Billboard 200 chart, Cowboy Carter is currently sitting at 167. There's a ton of country artists ahead of it, including multiple albums from Morgan Wallen and Zach Bryan, plus Post Malone, Jelly Roll, Luke Combs, and Chris Stapleton. So while there's a lot of talk online, it doesn't seem to be transitioning to massive sustained sales or streams. Now, after his comments in Nebraska, Adcock got some heat online, but he's not backing down. He posted a follow-up video to clarify where he's coming from. Here is that message.
I'm gonna go ahead and clear this up. When I was a little kid, my mama was blasting some Beyonce in the car. I've heard a ton of Beyonce songs, and I actually remember her Super Bowl halftime show being pretty kick-ass back in the day. But I really don't believe that her album should be labeled as country music. It doesn't sound country. It doesn't feel country. And I just don't think that people that have dedicated their whole lives to this genre and this lifestyle should have to compete or watch that album just stay at the top just because she's Beyonce.
Now, interestingly enough, all of this is happening as the Grammy Awards have introduced a brand new category for 2026, Best Traditional Country Album. The Recording Academy says the country community wanted a way to honor the different subgenres, especially with traditional country making a big comeback. The CEO, Harvey Mason Jr., said, "This action by our members now opens the door for us to celebrate more artists and a wider range of music." The new category is for albums that stick to traditional country sounds, including Western and outlaw country. It seems like a direct response to the evolution of the genre and the debates that have come along with it. So, what do you think? Is Gavin Adcock right? Does Cowboy Carter belong on the country charts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.